Oh yes, indeed, it is time for another Mark's Comic Haul. Yo. What's up, everybody? I'm Mark Walters, and I'm back. I had a big weekend, and it was actually kind of unexpected because I was at Texas Frightmare Weekend on Saturday, and then I hopped in the car and I hightailed it down to Eastern Rim Comic Con, or I guess it's technically called the Eastern Rim Funny Book and Vintage Con. Here is a promotional, this is actually their program that they handed out at the show. I don't know if you can scan that QR code. I don't know if that'll even show up, but that would probably give you more information. Or you can go to easternrimcon.com and find out more information about it. I was trying to see if there was something on here I could show you. I mean, there's an email right there. Anyway, my friend Jerry Schaefer runs that con, and he comes to all my shows, Dallas Comic Show, and I had been telling him I wanted to come down and check out his show, and so I thought, hey, what better time? And also I helped him book Stephen Butler for his show, and he had I think he had talked to James O'Barr at Dallas Comic Show in June, and they had booked James O'Barr, so I wanted to go down and see him. And I was really happy I went because it was a fun con. They had a really good mix of vendors and a great list of guests. And I got some books signed, which I'm going to show you guys real quick. I'm going to start with those. And then I got a whole bunch of dollar books. And I actually got a really good deal on those, and I'll tell you about that. And then I'll finish it off with a couple of books I picked up at Bedrock City Comics in in Houston, which is a really, really great comic shop if you've never been to it. It's owned by my friend Richard Evans, and I'll tell you about that. So if you guys like this content, if you enjoy this channel, please do me a favor, like and subscribe down below. I'd very much appreciate it. All right, we'll start off with books I got signed. Peter Tomasi was one of their guests. Peter Tomasi is probably best well known for his work on Detective Comics. He created the Robin King. So you guys know this book, Dark Knight's Death Metal, Legends of the Dark Knights, #1. This is the first appearance of the Robin King. And I got this signed by Peter Tomasi. My only complaint is this pen was a little weak at the start there. Just a little bit weak on the start, but other than that, it's a nice signature. So Peter Tomasi was charging $5 a signature, but I went up and I was going to put down $20 and get 4 books signed. And this was my stack, and he said, I'll just sign them all. So that's kind of cool, you know. So I got all these for $20 basically. This is Dark Knight's Death Metal Robin King #1, signed by Peter Tomasi right there. I had never met Peter Tomasi. He was a nice guy. I enjoyed talking to him. Okay, so this is Batman Detective Comics Annual #2. He did not write Annual #1. There's his signature. It looks really good right there. He did not write Annual #1, but he wrote Annual #2, and he wrote Annual #3, which is right there. And there's his signature. Now, his signature is looking really good on these books. I wish he had signed these first and then signed the other ones, but oh well. The other ones kind of have slick covers, which I think might have been part of the reason why his signature didn't look so great on those. This is Superman #10, which of course is the first Super Sons. Happy to get that one signed. And this is Superman #25. Do you guys know the significance of this book? I actually made a video a little over a year ago telling people to pick this book up. This is one of those kind of under-the-radar key books. There is a vision in this book of the future which shows Jonathan Kent as Superman. So technically, this is the first appearance of Jonathan Kent as Superman. So if you don't have this book, you can still get it pretty cheap. It's Superman 25. Go grab that book. Super Sons #1, first printing. Nice bold signature there. Got 2 copies of that. Detective Comics #1000. Now, I already had this signed by Becky Cloonan right here, and then Peter Tomasi signed it here in gold. Not the best in gold, but okay, still good. And then this is Detective Comics 1000. This is the foil variant that was done, I think it was a DC, some kind of DC exclusive that they did for conventions, but I honestly can't remember where I got this. I think DC used to have, there's Peter Tomasi's signature right there, and there's Becky Cloonan right there. So I got 2 signatures on that. May have to start trying to fill in the rest. I honestly can't remember where I got that foil version. I think it was DC was doing exclusive booths at shows around the times when those came out, and that was one of the things they were selling. Okay, then my buddy Stephen Butler, I had a bunch of his books, but I forgot to get them signed in Dallas, so he was kind enough to sign them for me here. So this is Amazing Spider-Man Annual 28. Stephen Butler did the cover, and he also did the first story on the interior. So there's Stephen Butler's signature right there. Love that cover with Carnage. This is Web of Spider-Man number 117. This is actually a flip cover. Both covers are by Stephen Butler, but I just got this one signed because it was my favorite of the 2. I probably could have had him sign the other one, I just didn't. Web of Spider-Man number 125. Always like this cover because it's got this freaky hologram thing. I don't know if you guys can make it out. There you go. Sort of see it. Anyway, there's Stephen Butler's signature. And he told me an interesting story about this. He said when he did this cover, he had no idea they were going to put that hologram there. That was something they decided about, I guess, in the 11th hour to make it into a gimmick cover. So he didn't know that was going to be there when he did the artwork for the cover. And if you look, the Spider-Man symbol is a heart in the background, but because that hologram is there and the title goes over it, it's actually kind of hard to tell that's a heart. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Got 2 of those. And then probably the book he is most well known for, Silver Sable and the Wild Pack number 1. This is the foil, I guess, direct market variation. What is it? The newsstand version doesn't have foil. It's just like a silver ink or whatever. Anyway, he signed that up top, and I actually got I went a little crazy. This is number 2, and he, as you can see, he signed it right there. Number 2. Number 3. Where did he sign that? Right there. Number 4. One of my favorite covers of the series. Dr. Doom. And where did he sign that one? Oh, at the top. Stephen Butler. And that is also an Infinity War crossover, as is this issue. Number 5. Second part of the Dr. Doom storyline. He signed it right there in the middle. And then my last Silver Sable issue is number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. And last but not least, from the Stephen Butler signed books, the only X-Men issue that he ever worked on from the regular run, Uncanny X-Men 280. Stephen Butler did half of the art, and I believe Adam Kubert did the other half of the art. And it's a Jim Lee cover, but Stephen Butler interior. So, and then Stephen Butler's been doing all these really cool Lady Death covers, and they're all homages to famous other comic book covers. This is one of the newest ones that just came out. This is the Black Widow number 1 Death Widow, and he had 1 copy of this as an artist proof. I believe they only made 100 of these for the regular customers, and he was kind enough to hook me up, and man oh man is that cool. You can see a signature right there, and this is done to look like the cover by J.G. Jones, and he actually did this cover in pencil and then colored the pencils, and it really looks sharp. I was really happy with that, so excited to get that. Now, the funny story is he had this at my show, which was a couple weeks back, August 26th, 25th, 26th, 21st, 22nd. When was my show? I don't even remember. He had this at Dallas Comic Show, and I told him to hold it for me. And then I forgot to get it before he left. So he was able to get this to me at Eastern Rim, and I'm very happy to get that. So, all right, so those are all my signed books. Geez, we're already 10 minutes in. Okay, so while I was at Eastern Rim, my friend Rick Waite, he's one of my longtime vendor buddies, he had a great setup with a bunch of dollar books, and I went through his dollar books in like record time. I think I spent like an hour, and I went through, God, I want to say like 15 long boxes of dollar books, and I was going to buy 40, and then he said, pick out another 10, and we'll call it even. So I got $50 books, and I paid 40 bucks. So I don't know what that comes out to, but basically I got 50 books for 40 bucks. All right, so my only independent title was Rachel Rising number 10 by Terry Moore. I just love this cover, and I didn't have it, so for $1, happy to get that. And then this is going to be Marvel, followed by DC, and then I'm going to finish it off with 3 books from Bedrock City. Okay, so Astonishing X-Men number 1 by Brandon Peterson. This is just a cool book. Came out in the, like, I guess like 2000 or something. I don't remember when exactly it came out, but yeah, one of my favorites. Avengers 685. This is the issue after they introduce Immortal Hulk. It's a good book. Mark Brooks cover art there. Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider number 1. Incredible Hulk number 447. This kind of introduces like a new story. Mike Deodato Jr. artwork. Savage redefined. Invincible Iron Man number 6. I just thought this was a really cool cover. The War Machines. Wish I could have found that number 9. The first Riri Williams. God, really love to have that. I don't think I'm ever going to have any luck with that book, though. Ms. Marvel number 20. This is the Jim Lee trading card variant. Marvel basically went back and took a bunch of Jim Lee trading cards and just used them as variant covers. It's either really cool or really lame, depending on how you look at it. But this is Lady Deathstrike. I didn't have this one. Marvel Mangaverse number 1. My buddy Ben Dunn did the Mangaverse for Marvel, and this is the first issue that came out. Kind of rare now. People are starting to look for those. Punisher Suicide Run, Punisher War Journal number 64. It's part of the Suicide Run storyline. This is just one I didn't have. These have these die-cut covers, so like when you lift the cover up, you can see the Punisher is like shooting from the inside. And I just didn't have this. It's a cover by Michael Golden. Punisher Ghosts. This is like a deluxe format book written by Jim Starlin. It's Punisher Ghosts. What does that say? Oh, The Innocents. It's a deluxe format thick book. And I didn't have this. I try to collect these Punisher like standalone deluxe format books whenever I find them. They're getting a little bit hard to come by now. This is an oldie but a goodie. Strife's Strike File number 1. You guys remember this? Silver ink on the cover. Kind of came out shortly after, like in the whole time period of like New Mutants 100 and all that. A special X-Men collectible. You know this is super collectible, guys. They probably printed like 1 million of those. Ultimate Spider-Man number 50. Just a cool issue of Ultimate Spider-Man with the big 50 in the background there. Uncanny X-Men Special number 1 variant edition by Mark Brooks. Really nice cover. X-Men Red Annual number 1. This is the Travis Charest cover. X-Men Red Annual 1. This is the Art Adams variant cover with Phoenix. And I'm not sure if I have this. I don't know if I ever saw this on the shelf. I collect everything Art Adams, but somehow I think I might have missed this one. I'll have to go back and look. X-Men The Wedding Special #1 with a J. Scott Campbell variant cover there. Or I don't know, maybe this was the regular cover, I'm not sure. Let me see what it says on the... No, it's regular cover. Action Comics, okay, now we're getting into DC. Action Comics #589, just a nice John Byrne cover with Superman and the Green Lantern Corps. I think the interior art is by Dick Giordano, but the cover's by John Byrne. And I don't think I had that issue, oddly enough. I have tons of Action Comics. Action Comics Annual #1. This is always a great book to have. And I'm actually kind of shocked it doesn't go for more. So this book is, it's got Batman and Superman, written by John Byrne, artwork and cover by Arthur Adams, and it's a vampire story. And it's an awesome story, by the way, if you've never read it. But this is one of those books that I feel is really undervalued. If you can find it, grab it. I think eventually time's going to correct itself on that one. Aquaman #19, first appearance of this king dude. I can't remember the name. This is one of those books that was kind of hot for a minute. People were looking for it. Aquaman #50, Black Manta Returns. I just didn't have this issue. I think it's like a $5 book. And, yeah, $5. So, Black Hawk #1 by Howard Chaykin, deluxe format book. This is just a really cool read if you've never read it. And they're supposed to make a Black Hawk movie, and everybody's saying that this Howard Chaykin miniseries is probably going to end up being the inspiration for it. Detective Comics Annual #2. Just a very striking cover. Ku Klux Klan, Batman. Black cover. Deluxe format book. Not always easy to find in good shape. This one looks pretty much perfect. So I was happy to get that. Dr. Fate #1. This is from a miniseries they did, a 4-issue miniseries by J.M. DeMatteis and Keith Giffen. And as you guys know, Dr. Fate is supposed to appear in the Black Adam movie played by Pierce Brosnan. Very excited about that. So this might be a cool book to have. Green Lantern #200. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this was Alex Saviuk's first work at DC, but I could be wrong. Anyway, landmark issue, Green Lantern 200. I could have swore Alex told me that was his first book. I need to go back and check with him. That's a Walter Simonson cover, though. Pretty cool. Hawkman #10. This is a great example of how comics sometimes can really mislead you with their covers. So I always like this cover because it's got Superman on it. Hawkman #10, Shadow War, the final battle. And look how big Superman is there on the cover. Superman only appears in the last page of this book. He's on the very last page. That's it. He's all over the cover. He's nowhere in the book. But still, it's a cool book to have. This is a book I keep getting copies of, and I'm happy to get it. This is JLA #47. First appearance of the Queen of Hearts, ties in with Fables. This is another one of those kind of under-the-radar key books. If you can find it, definitely worth picking up. First appearance. Speaking of first appearances, I can't remember what this is. This is JLA Justice League International. Justice League International #24, and I know this is a first appearance, but I can't remember. It's like a big deluxe bonus book, so it's like thicker than a normal comic. But I'm sorry, I can't remember what the significance is of it. I know there is a significance to this book. In fact, you know what? I'll tell you what. JLA 24. I'm going to stop real quick and look it up. Because I just got another copy of that recently. And I really should remember. Okay, Justice League International 24. We're all going to learn something today. Justice League International 24. I think... I think it is... I cannot read this fine print. My God. Okay, so I don't remember. I'm sorry. I was trying to look it up in the price guide, but it's way too hard to see, and I don't have my magnifying glass. Anyway, I know it's somewhat of a key. Justice Society of America number 26. Sorry to waste everybody's time with that. Featuring an Alex Ross cover. Nice Stargirl classic JSA characters there. Yep. Suicide Squad number 16. This is the first appearance, I guess you could say first appearance of the new Shade the Changing Man. I think this is the first time the new version of Shade the Changing Man appears is in this book, but again, I could be wrong on that. I need to go back and look it up. Superman number 21, and I love this book. It's somewhat of a key issue because it's the return of Supergirl, although she does appear before this in a couple other issues. Unfortunately, the back of this one, there's a crease on the back cover. I didn't notice it when I picked it up, but the rest of the book is pretty much flawless, and I love this cover. It's always been one of my favorite covers. This is a great book that a lot of people don't know about. This is Superman number 22 from the John Byrne run, and in this issue, Superman murders 3 Kryptonians. The evil 3 Kryptonians that come down to fight him, he murders them in the bottle city of Kandor, and it leads into a storyline where Superman goes into exile because he can't process what he's done. It's a really great issue, and this is an issue you absolutely should get if you don't already have it. I think it is going for a little bit of money right now, and this is a pretty perfect copy, so I was happy to get it. Superman number 600. Just a nice deluxe format book. Real thick book. Superman number 700. Gary Frank cover. Always liked that book. Superman Batman Secret Files, or I don't know, maybe it's Batman Superman Secret Files and Origins number 2000, or this is from 2003. And it's interesting. This is a book that's almost 20 years old. And look at the price tag. $5? Who was buying $5 comics 20 years ago? I guess some of us were. I got it for $1 today. One of my favorite books, Action Comics, number 600. This is a big deluxe format, 80-page giant golden anniversary issue, and if I am not mistaken, I think this is the first appearance of the Eradicator. Not the Eradicator that you saw in the Reign of the Supermen storyline. This is the first appearance of the Eradicator, the object that ends up becoming the Eradicator in the Reign of the Supermen storyline after Superman dies. So the Eradicator as an object first appeared in this issue, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it does. This was kind of cool. I was excited that they had these. These are some deluxe format DC books. So this is the Green Arrow. It features 11 classic Emerald Archer tales from the 1950s featuring artwork by the immortal Jack Kirby. So it's a deluxe format book where they collected 11 tales. As you can see, it's real thick. And yeah, I was pretty happy to get that. Justice Society of America. This is a reprint of the DC 100-page Super Spectacular for Justice Society of America, and it reprints some of the classic Justice Society stories. Like this is from Flash. I can't remember which issue, but really great Flash issue where modern Flash fights Golden Age Flash. Yeah, there's some good stuff. And extra at the bottom, Dr. Midnight faces the Sight Stealers plus a bonus Flash adventure. Anyway, this is one of those really nicely done DC reprints, thick format book. I think these are like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 or 8, maybe even $10 books. But I was happy to get that for $1. Legion of Superheroes number 100, giant 96-page anniversary special. I've never seen this book, ever. And it's a big, thick format deluxe book. Very happy to get that. This is Secret Origins Annual number 19, or from 1989, an 80-page giant featuring the Teen Titans, and just has a who's who of creators here: George Perez, Dave Cockrum, all these great guys. So happy to get that. Another deluxe format book. Okay, now I'm going to finish off the dollar books with 12 comics that I think made this haul worth it. Personally, me personally. I don't know how you'll feel about it, but this is how I feel. Okay. Aquaman number 58, featuring the incredible origin of Aquaman. It's a Jim Aparo artwork on this issue. Just a nice classic Aquaman issue. Very, very happy to get that, and it's in excellent shape. Green Arrow number 1 from the Kevin Smith, Phil Hester, Andy Parks run. Nice book to have. This book was actually going for some money at one point. Probably will again at some point. Legion of Superheroes number 6. This is a first printing, first appearance of the Gold Lantern. Right there. This was a book that was really hard to get when it first came out. And then they started slipping them in the Walmart packs. And anyway, I was just happy to get another copy of a first print. Legionnaires number 13. Anybody figure this one out? That is an Adam Hughes cover. An early Adam Hughes cover, but one that you don't see very often, because Legionnaires at the time was kind of a low printed book. So that's a really cool Adam Hughes cover to have. And speaking of Adam Hughes covers, one of my favorites, Valor Number 10, featuring a very, very sexy cover by Adam Hughes. Very nice. Very, very nice. I just showed this book because I got it somewhere else in a bargain box. But this is Avengers number... oh God, what's the number? I think it's 395. Yeah, Avengers 395, and this was from a time period where no one was buying these books. Like, the print runs were kind of going low and no one was buying them, and Marvel was doing anything they could to sell these books. And this issue features the death of Iron Man. Tony Stark dies in this issue, and seems to be one of those key books that nobody talks about, but I'm happy to get it. Happy to get my second copy of that. Okay, so Avengers number 1 from the John Romita Jr., Brian Michael Bendis run features the first appearance of Azari T'Challa and Cameo, who is the son of Storm and Black Panther. And this is a free version of that book. Now, I've gotten one of these before, but it wasn't in the best of shape. This one is in excellent shape. I guess they produced these and gave them away. I don't know if they gave them away at the screening of Avengers number 1. I don't know where these went out, because they say free down here. Anyway, second time I've seen it. Can't imagine it's that common. Speaking of Azari T'Challa, this is the first full appearance of Azari T'Challa, and that is Avengers number 6 from the Heroic Age. Another nice book to have if you don't already have it. You might be able to find that for cover price, depending on where you go. Okay, very, very happy to get these. I'm going to show you the second one first. This is the Punisher number 32. When they introduced the character of Barracuda, a lot of people weren't expecting that to become a big character. But the main reason I'm happy is this is number 31. This is the first appearance of Barracuda. So this is the first appearance and second appearance of Barracuda. This book is like a $50 book. Like, find a copy. It's almost impossible to find a nice copy of this book. And this one is perfect, like just perfect condition. And oddly enough, I didn't have it. I don't know why. I thought I did. I usually have pretty much every cover that Tim Bradstreet does, and I didn't have this one. So I was very, very happy to get those two. Xena, Warrior Princess, #1. This is the J. Scott Campbell variant cover. Kind of an early J. Scott Campbell cover. And last but not least, at least for the dollar books, this is Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, #3, first appearance of Xena, Warrior Princess in a comic book. This book's going for some money right about now. It's kind of a cool book to have, so very, very happy to get this. I think this is my second copy of this book. And yeah, happy to get that book. Nice photo cover of Lucy Lawless there. Okay, that was my dollar comic run. I got 50 books for $40. Rick Waite from Rick's Comic Crypt. Rick's Comic Crypt. Look that up. You can find him at conventions. Great guy. I've known him for a long time. Really happy to get those books. I told Rick when I was going through them, I was like, man, you got some really great stuff in here. Okay, and before we wrap this up, I'm going to show you 3 quick books that I picked up at Bedrock City Comics in Houston. Bedrock City is owned by Richard Evans. It's a long-running comic store in Houston. I would say it's probably the best comic book store you're going to find in Houston, and there's probably not a lot of people that would argue with me on that. I got a chance to stop by there and see some of Rick's personal collection, which is just incredible stuff. He's got original Frazettas, some really rare comics. I only was in the store for about an hour, and I didn't get a chance to really plow through the back issues, but I did pick up a couple of things I was looking for. I got Avengers #29. This is the Frank Cho ballpoint pen variant edition of Avengers 29. I never see anybody show this book. I never see people show this book. And this was one of those books that I didn't even know about until just recently, and I was really happy I was able to find a copy of it. They had this for $5. Great deal. And then this was a book I've been looking for recently because of Shang-Chi. This is Avengers from the Marvel Now run, #2. And the significance of this book is that in this book, they ask Shang-Chi to join the Avengers. If you guys have seen Shang-Chi yet, there's a scene towards the end of the movie, or I guess it's in the credits, that kind of alludes to maybe this moment happening. So if that does end up happening, and I think it's probably safe to say that it will in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then this may be a good book to have because it's the first time that Shang-Chi is invited to join the Avengers. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, huge thank you to Richard Evans of Bedrock City. I've always wanted this book. I have never owned this book. I am so happy that I finally have a copy of this book. It's just one of those cool books I've always wanted. A 1970s Bronze Age classic, Black Lightning #1. We're so happy to get this. So they just got in a collection of books, and they had a couple of copies of these in there, and I saw it. I was like, I have to have one, and Richard made that happen for me. So I now own a copy of Black Lightning #1. I would say this is probably like a very fine minus. It's a beautiful copy. I'm so happy to finally own this book. Rich Butler cover. I think Dr. Von Chilla showed this book off once, or he got it in an act of kindness. And I was just kind of like, man, I really wish I could have a copy of that book. And now I do. So there's my Black Lightning #1. Very happy to get that. Huge thanks to Richard at Bedrock City. All right, guys, that's my haul. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you guys later this week with the new This Week Comics. I hope everybody's having a good time. Some shout-outs. Fred Hall Direct Edition, still making great videos. Comic Crypt at Castle Hills, Mr. Rigor Mortis 86, Spidey Fan, Free Energy, of course, Sean Hogan, Ian Hunter, all my regulars down in the comments that are always wishing me well. You know, I've had some really great feedback lately on some of the videos that I've been posting, And am I leaving anybody out? Probably, but hey, guys, thanks for watching the videos as always. And again, if you enjoy this content, please do me a favor and like and subscribe down below. I would really appreciate it. You can find out more about me at bigfanboy.com or dallascomicshow.com. The next Dallas Comic Show is coming up November 6th and 7th. We've got the great Howard Chaykin coming there. In fact, if you guys have this book, bring this book and get Howard Chaykin to sign it, because that would be a good one to have signed. We've got Greg LaRocque. You guys know him, of course, from his work on The Flash and Legion of Superheroes. Lots of really cool people are going to be coming. Twin Peaks fans, you're going to want to be there. If you like Twin Peaks, you're going to like that. DallasComicShow.com for more information. And then also check out my film podcast, which is The Big Film Show. Go to BigFilmShow.com for more information about that. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. I'm Mark Walters. I'll see you on the next Mark's Comic Call, y'all. Take care.